too can walk out of any situation we find ourselves in. That he had already conquered sin, Satan, and death in that one movement of his. And we then, I could now drop everything at the cross, just as Frankie had asked. And he would indeed. Because I looked around four walls every day, and I realized, even well before that, I didn't have to be in a prison cell to be incarcerated. Hatred and the anger, the addictions, and my hurt already had me in prison. As maybe someone here today has felt the same thing. I remember writing Frankie's song, and he encouraged me, Jimmy, just drop it all at the foot of the cross. In other words, surrender your life to God. I remember I sat down on the bunk one day. I said, God, I don't even know if you hear my voice, because I've done so much wrong in this world. But please take a little bit of life that I haven't destroyed and do with it what you will. I began to cry as I began to empty out how sorry I was for the life I'd taken, the emotional pain I caused in my own family, people I'd hurt along the way. And in that confession there, when the tears stopped, I remember as I cried that day, I felt a peace just kind of flowed over me like I didn't know could possibly exist, that I hadn't never even felt as a youngster. And I didn't know where it came from at the time. I had this drive. I was a reader, but I became a voracious reader. I stopped reading cowboy books and action novels and started asking for books like history and philosophy and psychology, and I just had this hunger to learn. And as the time went on, I just continued. I started writing short stories to Frankie. Some of them actually appeared in his book now, and a couple other sources that I wrote from that cell. But the people around me, the correctional officer, began to see the change in me. Instead of me cursing them out when they came by because my milk wasn't cold, I actually asked them how they were doing today. They could see the change in who I was then. Well, to sum this up, I ended up serving 7 years in solitary that time. In the year 2000, I had been in prison 25 years. Of that 25 years, I spent 16 years in solitary confinement. But this time, when I was released to the prison population, I was looking for people I could help. All that studying I've done and the writing I had done, God turned me basically into opportunities to help young men with 6th grade educations when they come in Department of Corrections on average, to help them earn their GEDs. And over the next few years, I still had a lot of learning to do, a lot of unlearning to do. You don't stay in prison almost 30 years at this point and not have a lot of baggage that you need to unload, But I continued to grow. I got involved in Kairos Ministries. As the time went on, a character-based unit, which is basically, it's really a spiritually based program. I became a leader of it years